we've heard lately of behavioral interviews where they ask situational questions. I guess this is a time where you could really sell yourself then and use these accomplishment stories. Can you explain about the behavioral interview and sales, how that relates?
Well, the behavioral questions are questions where they try to give you a scenario and they ask you, how would you solve it? If you came to work here and we had this and this problem, what would you do to solve it? Mm-hmm. So I think it's a mistake to try to immediately give them solutions and tell them exactly how to solve all their problems. Instead, focus on your accomplishment stories. Tell a story about a time in the past when you addressed a similar problem or challenge successfully and the positive results that you were able to produce. That's a much better answer than trying to solve the employer's needs right there on the spot.
Okay, just like sales, you want to give them a concrete answer that they can remember and it would resonate with them.
Yes.
So you're actually selling yourself to meet that need or that problem that you've learned about.
Yes, mostly by employing your accomplishment stories.
Okay. Now, what if you're the employer, or as we say, the customer in the sales, and you're kind of quiet and reticent, and I'm trying to find out those hidden needs? How do you really dig? What kinds of questions can I ask in an interview to find out what those hidden needs are that they may not want to share up front? How do you get at those latent or those hidden needs?
I think you have to build some trust. Again, they will reveal more information to you if you show that you genuinely care, that you're sincerely interested in being of help, being of service. That also takes the pressure off. You don't sound like a salesperson when you're demonstrating genuine care and sincere interest. So it becomes easier and easier the more you demonstrate that care and concern.
All right, so during this sales call or the interview, so to speak, how do you effectively close it out at the end so that you're the candidate of choice?
Okay. We all want to be the candidate of choice. We want to be selected for the position. That's a given. And the best way, I think, to facilitate that process is to summarize. When you get to the end of the interview and you can tell that it's coming to a conclusion, it's a great idea to run through with them again their stated needs, right? You said you needed this, Mr. Smith. You also said this was the really big concern of yours. You said that one of your biggest issues here is whatever. Well, as I told you earlier, I have direct experience with da-da-da-da-da. I also have solved the kinds of problems you mentioned in XYZ. And finally, the thing that keeps you up at night, I addressed that issue as well, and I gave you specific results that I produced in that area. So I seem to be an excellent fit. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Smith? Mr. Smith says, well, yes, actually, you check all the boxes. You seem to be a great candidate. Well, Mr. Smith, I'm very excited in this role. And I think I would do a fabulous job for you and meet all the needs that we've been talking about. What are our next steps? Where do we go from here? So you're confirming that you can do everything they need. You've summarized the fact that you are indeed a great candidate. You're saying, I'm really excited about it. What do we do next? What's the next step to move us forward? There's even another question that I think gets you extra points. And the question is this. Mr. Smith, now that you've gotten to know me and I've shared my accomplishment stories with you and we've discussed your needs, problems, and challenges, is there any reason that you might not proceed with me as a candidate? Are there any concerns, issues, doubts that you have that I can address today before we finish our conversation?
I like that. That's very bold.
It's bold, but it works beautifully because it gets those final hidden objections out of the way. And it can increase your number of offers, I think, by at least 50%.
Yeah, it's definitely going to differentiate yourself. That's for sure.
Right.